Hey YouTube, this is going to be a video about giant day gecko care. This is my giant day gecko. His name's Rex. He's going through shedding right now, so he looks a little dull. He is tame, as you can see. So yeah, this is his enclosure. It's a, I think it's Zoom Ed that made this one. It's an 18 by 18 by 24, 18, 24 tall. This is an appropriate sized cage for one adult giant day gecko. For a baby, when I first got him, he was in a little critter keeper because he was absolutely teeny. He was like this. He was absolutely teeny. Yeah. So they can live. And what you would want to do for a baby like that size, you'd probably want to, for that cage, you'd want to put paper towel down as the bedding, spray that down, put a plant in there in a very small water bowl, and that would be good for a while. Then you're going to want to upgrade to something like a 10-gallon tank and set it more like their adult size, and then get this. I wouldn't recommend putting a little baby in a cage this big because they're really easy to lose. I have trouble keeping track of him, and he's almost 8 inches long. Yeah, so this is his enclosure. I have a live plant back in there. It's bamboo, and a bunch of artificial plants. Yeah. So let's start with the basics. You're gonna need a glass tank like this. You're gonna need 2 types of lights: a UV light like this one. This one's made by Exoterra, and a heat bulb and a heat light like that. And the third one's just another one of another UV light for the plant. So those are the 2 things you're going to need because they are diurnal and they need that UV. So don't neglect that. You're going to want lots of artificial plants or live plants, depending on your preference, to fill their tanks so they have lots of places to hide and climb and feel secure. I'm not sure why it's just sitting there. Sorry, buddy. I didn't mean to scare him so much, but they are quite skittish. But he is quite tame when he's out of his tank. Yeah, they're very skittish animals. You don't want to be holding them very often. These are one of the only types of day geckos that I would recommend handling on a regular, not on a regular basis, but you can handle them occasionally without doing damage. You might stress them out a little bit, but not enough to worry about. And if you hold them enough, they could, potentially become very tame. But I definitely wouldn't recommend holding them every day. Yeah, so if you're looking for a day gecko, a giant day gecko is a good place to go. They do get around 10 to 12 inches. Males more around 12, females more around 8 to 10. They eat crickets and I cannot talk today. Fruit purees. Those are like baby foods. They'll also eat this powdered mixture made by Repashy Superfoods called Crested Gecko Diet, and that's good for them. Mine hates that. He just doesn't like it. He wouldn't touch it. Even when I put it on his mouth, he shakes his head until it comes off. So if it works for your gecko, it's good. Their main diet's crickets. I feed mine like 10 crickets every other day or so, and he'll hunt them, and he's quite fat and stuff, so that's good for them. Yeah, so that's how you feed them. You just put it in their tank. For a baby, I would recommend maybe like two crickets every day or 4 crickets every other day. They're very small. They don't need to eat too much, but they are growing. You have to remember that. As for their food, there's this type of powder. It's called calcium powder. I don't have any around here with me. They're by the cricket bin, but it's made by Repcal. It's a little can, and like a plastic can, and it's white with a pink label, and that's powdered calcium that you have to sprinkle on their crickets. This definitely is not a beginner lizard. I definitely wouldn't recommend this for a beginner. So if you are a beginner, I would steer away. I mean, it can be done, but you got to do a lot of research, and this video shouldn't be mistaken for all the research you have to do. You should take this video as a bit of the research that you have to do. So yeah, the live plant helps keep up the humidity, which is why I have it in here. And that is one of the most important things about day geckos, is that they need a lot, and I mean a lot, of humidity constantly in their tank. I spritz mine, one sec. Sorry, with this spray bottle. There he is running around. I think he's a little stressed out because this is unusual for him. You have to spray their tank like that to get water all over the place, twice a day, every day. So if that's not something that you can feel committed to, I wouldn't recommend getting this Gecko. But for me, it's quite easy. So I just do it like once before I get up to go to school. I'll spray his cage down, and when I get back, I'll spray his cage down. Yeah, so humidity. I would say if you could get a gauge, like, see if I have one, like one of these. This is my crocodile gecko. Those gauges up there are for temperature and humidity. So something like that you put in your day gecko's enclosure, and that would tell you the humidity, which needs to be anywhere from, I would say, 60 to 90%. I wouldn't go 100%. That's saturated humidity. So 60 to 90% at all times. If it goes below 30, you're going to have a very stressed out or possibly even dead gecko due to a respiratory infection. So you're going to want to keep a high humidity. Plus what they'll do is like they'll lick those droplets from the wall, and that's their main source of water. So you don't want to be depriving them of water. They do like to hide sometimes. Sorry about that. No little interruption. Where was I? Oh yeah. So you don't want to be depriving them of their main water source. They do need lots of hiding spots. So you're definitely going to want to give them a lot of hiding spots. Like mine will hide underneath all these plants on the behind, like on behind there, and he'll go under this cork flat. Yeah, there's not too much more to say about these guys. They're definitely worth it. They're very beautiful. Mine's shedding right now, so of course he's not in the most beautiful condition, but I'll put a picture up of him, of what he looks like normally. Sorry about my frog. Yeah, so that's him. Trying to remember if I left anything out here. Bit distracted. Yeah, they're really. Oh, for temperature, down at the bottom of the tank, you're gonna want it to be anywhere from 70 to 80 degrees, and at the basking spot, you're gonna want it to be anywhere from 80 to 90 degrees. That's a good temperature, I'd say. But you need to keep it humid so that it doesn't dry out the tank, because their skin needs to be hydrated, and they need that for their respiratory system. Yeah. So if you ever grab your gecko, like if you ever try to reach it and just grab him, their skin will slough off in patches, and that's like a evolutionary defensive mechanism to get away. But just because it helps save them alive in the wild, sometimes it's definitely not healthy for them, and it definitely will seriously injure your gecko, but it could kill it. So definitely never grab. If you do need to take it out and it's not tame, you're just going to want to like put your hand around its body and its legs until it gets to the edge of the tank, and then you want to put your hand and have it hop onto your hand. Never grab it. Their tail will also come off if you grab them by their tail. And it will regrow, but it will look weird, and it'll probably be a lot shorter. So that's just some heads up. If you ever need to catch your gecko, just never grab it. Yeah, so feed them regularly every other day. Spray their cage down twice a day. Get the good lighting, get a good tank. Don't cheap out on these guys. They can cost anywhere from $50 to $100. I got mine at a local shop that really didn't know what they were for $15 because he was a baby. So sometimes you look out like that, but usually not. So yeah, they are a commitment, and most of the time the cage will cost a lot more than the animal that you're getting. So make it worth it. And they're definitely a great pet. They're beautiful, interesting, very fun to feed, very fun to hold. Yeah, they're definitely worth it. So yeah, enjoy your pet, and if you like what you see here and you want to see more, you can click that subscribe button, or yeah, you can like the video or whatever. So thanks for watching, and hope you'll check out the rest of my stuff, and yeah, do your research.